We'll see. What's happening, everybody? This is Caddy with Money Investing. So I hope you guys are all having a great start to the day. So we're gonna do this live stream, but for about an hour, maybe hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We'll see how long we go. Right now it's 8 a.m. Eastern, so I want to do it at least till the market opens. So for about an hour and a half, we'll see how long we go with the live stream. So let me see. Make sure that you drop that like button. It really helps out with the channel. You guys know that. Michael, thank you so much. What's up, my man? Thank you for the like. I really do appreciate that. So I actually, by the way, I want to mention that TradingView, I got the 1 second and the 5 second charts for you guys. I got them yesterday, so I'm very excited about that. So now we'll be able to check the volumes and the price action for 1 second. What's up, Bruce? How are you? I hope you're doing well. We've got a nice little bounce off the lows from yesterday. A lot of volatility, and it's looking like a potential green day. That's a great question. Do I think this is a dead cat bounce? That's a great question and something I'll address in the videos. But I just want to show you guys the futures, which is going to be really important. So if you go over to NQ1, Timothy, thank you so much for joining in from Kenya. I really do appreciate your support. I hope you're doing well, staying safe out there, taking care. Baba, good morning. Although it's pretty late over here. It's like 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So let's go over to the S&P 500 and. To answer your question, Chain, in my opinion, it's kind of hard to say if this is a dead cat bounce. Right now, we're still in that uptrend bullish context, so we're still making higher highs and higher lows. It's just there's no downtrending channel right now, so we don't have a lot of weakness for the pattern right now. Ace, welcome on board. Shout out to the UK. Good morning. Let's see how many people we have. We have 13 people watching. Again, share this stream. I'm not sure if the internet is slow, but interesting. All right, well, make sure that you drop that like button. It really helps out with the channel. You guys know that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely really appreciate that. So I got the 1 second charts for you guys, so we'll be able to see the actual 1 second volume, 1 second trading, 5 second tradings as well. So it's going to be very microscopic price action that we can look at. This right here is going to be the chart for the S&P 500. Bitcoin is going to be over here, so we're up a little bit over 3% for cryptos. This right here is going to be the Qs. So the NASDAQ or QQQs are up a little bit over 70 basis points. And then we've got the S&P 500 up a little bit over 30 basis points. So that right there again is somewhat of a divergence. The Qs are up a little bit more than the SPY. So again, growth kind of taking off and bouncing off the lows from yesterday, because yesterday was really severe. And this right here is going to be like a white chart that I created. We'll go over this as well later in the video, later in the live stream. This is going to be accumulation distribution charts. Very important to understand the price, the volume, right? Where institutional money flow is going. So I'll break that down as well in the future. But let's take a look at where the markets are to give you guys a very quick update on everything. So we got CCIV. Let's take a look. Up a little bit over 3.5%, almost 4%. I don't have the extended hours on this. Let me go ahead and turn that on. So that right there is going to be the huge sell-off from yesterday, and we are consolidating sideways. QuantumScape, we're bouncing off the lows, up a little bit over 6%. We've got Nano Dimensions up over 7.5%. We've got Switchback up a little bit over 3.5%, almost 4%. LABU, this is going to be a biotech ETF. It's leveraged ETF similar to TQQQ's. Biotech has been selling off, so this can potentially set up for a really good swing trading opportunity, because if I were to go over XBI, that's going to be S&P 500 Biotech ETF. And if you were to look at the daily chart, you can just tell how aggressively it's been selling off from the highs, right? From highs of 174, this right here has been the entire sell-off from highs of 173, 174, down a little bit over 16%. We pulled an inverted hammer candle here, so perfect. I mean, this is, I want to say textbook, but again, we also have to understand the broader markets. A long wick all the way down to 144, 142, and then a push higher. Right now, we are up a little bit over 1%. So I did pick up LABU on my main fund because we saw this inverted hammer candle. I got in around like 115 or 116 yesterday, and we are up a little bit over 3%. So my target for this, again, this is a really risky play as it is, so please make sure that you do your proper research and analysis on this. But my target is at least like 150-ish, 160 if you do see that bounce off the lows, because that right there was an inverted hammer candle. But moving forward, we've got Shopify up a little bit over 2%. We've got Lemonade up over 4%. Again, huge hammer candle. I mean, that was pretty much the case for so many stocks from yesterday, with hammer candles forming with the long wicks to the downside, buyers stepping in, bulls like basically coming into the market to push us higher once again. Bruce, I will go over Workhorse. That's a great suggestion. I will go over that as well. Let's see how many people we have watching. 143. Again, make sure that you drop that like. Let's see if we can get up to at least 100 viewers, 100 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000 viewers. So let's go over to ACTC. I know they're going to be doing a reverse merger with Proterra. That's another electric vehicle company, up a little bit over 10.5%, bouncing off the lows. So let's go over to the 4-hour chart. That's right here is a huge gap up, and we are again consolidating. There has been a lot of consolidation for this SPAC as it is. So $27, $28 would be the next resistance, so to speak, for this one. And this right here, a lot of support at $22, right? So IPOE, this is going to be the SoFi SPAC. It's been all over the place, honestly. It's been like up and down. Right now it's up close to 4%. Again, a huge hammer candle yesterday. We got Fubo TV jumping off the lows, 2.5%. We've got Palantir bouncing another 4.5%. For Palantir, this right here is going to be the chart. So 4-hour candles. $25 was the support from yesterday, and the next resistance is going to be $29 to $30 per share. That's going to be the level to watch. We've already gotten rejected at that very level, getting rejected at the 50 EMA and the 21 EMA. So right now, 25 double bottom bounce, double support at that level. So that's going to be the level to watch for Palantir. Square, for some reason, is down 2.5%. I'm not really sure why that is, but we are down for Square pre-market. If you guys know why Square is down, I would love to hear from you guys. Love from Toronto. Thank you so much. So yeah, let me know. Actually, let me know where you guys are from. I will put that on the live stream. Just comment where you guys are from. I would love to hear. I would love to see that. So let me know where you guys are from in the chat. Where in the world are you guys watching from? I would love to hear that. So I'll cover all the stocks. But let me know where in the world are you guys watching from. So we got Toronto, Saudi Arabia. That's awesome. Germany, Malaysia. That's great. Pakistan, Ireland, Atlanta, Georgia, London. Shout out to all you guys. South Korea. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. I really, really do appreciate you guys' support. And just so what I was saying earlier was that I got the 1 second and the 5 second candles. So let's see, so 249, again, let's see if we can get up to at least 100 likes. And these right here are going to be the 1 second candles and the 5 second candles, which are really, really interesting, and this is how they work. They basically are like non-stop, right? Constant up and down. This is 1 second for Bitcoin, right? Very, very important price action data. This also gives you the volume. So anytime you see the spike right there, like you saw the spike for volume for Bitcoin, you can basically get a feel for when institutions are buying and selling, because they're the ones who are going to spike that volume up for those trades, right? So right here, for example, in 1 second, somebody sold basically because this candle was down 4 Bitcoins, right? That's a $200,000 trade that went through in 1 second. So that right there is really, really important data. You got 1 Bitcoin, you got 5 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoins. So it's pretty interesting data point. Square is down because they bought more Bitcoin. Yeah, I read up on that. I think, but is that the reason why you think they could be down? Because Bitcoin is up. So, that's interesting that they are still down close to 3%. So let's continue. Unity Software, I know that a lot of folks picked this up because it was, incredibly oversold. This right here is actually going to be the accumulation and distribution, the cumulative value for the amount of shares. And when that actually goes down, you'll basically see a lot of distribution for that stock in terms of selling pressure coming in. Now the divergences happen when the price is going up and we're seeing some type of a distribution take place, or vice versa. The stock is going down and we're seeing some type of an accumulation, and this is trending up. So you'll notice that after the earnings for Unity Software, this right here was a massive distribution of shares, right? Meaning that there was a massive selling pressure taking place. My guess is that a lot of institutions, a lot of hedge funds or whatever portfolio managers decided that they didn't want to be invested in this company, considering the privacy issues, considering whatever the case may be for Unity Software, weak guidance, weak revenue, whatever the case is. And they're actually guided pretty well. They foresee 30% revenue growth over the next 5 years. I also cover Unity Software in one of my other videos, but massive distribution down here. We basically went from cumulative 425,000 shares all the way to lows of about 20 million, right? So pretty significant sell-off after the earnings, and now we are pushing higher once again, so up a little bit over 5% pre-market. So we got Plug Power. Plug Power was also down a little bit over 4%. We're bouncing off the lows, up just over 8.5% today. We got Baidu. Let's see where Baidu is. We got still down pre-market, down about 0.5%. And Grow Generation bouncing off the lows, up over 6% pre-market. PayPal is up over 2%, so Square and PayPal again now moving in different directions. NIO up over 4%. I covered NIO and Tesla in my last night's video. So again, last night's video. So you're more than welcome to watch that video as well. ARKG. By the way, I read an article. Let's go over to that really quickly. It was really interesting. Cash outflows from Bloomberg. So they basically had, and this came out 3 hours ago, so they basically had the biggest outflow ever for Cathie Wood funds after the 2-day tech sell-off that we saw. So you'll notice, and this actually came out very recently, like about 3 hours ago, you'll notice how investors pulled $465 million from ARKK in a day. So reading further, 3 of Cathie Wood's exchange-traded funds posted their largest outflows on record after a sell-off engulfed some of the star money managers' biggest bets. Investors pulled $465 million from Ark Invest Management's flagship products. Those are going to be Ark Innovation ETF, ticker symbol ARKK, the latest trading sessions for which flow figures are available. And reading further, you'll notice how Wood's ETFs have been battered by a sell-off in the U.S. tech shares that ensnared their largest of the most famous bet, Tesla. Rising bond yields and prospect of returning inflation are rattling investors. And this right here was the outflow. So again, in the history of the fund, you'll notice there's mostly been inflows. 2020 was a really significant year for them, close to about 600 million. So 600 million in the month of January, looks like. And then entire 2020, there's been a massive amount of inflows. And even in January and February, we saw a lot of inflows, but two bad days, and we saw significant outflows of close to over $400 million, right? The most Cathie Wood and Ark Invest have ever seen in the history of these funds. So pretty significant outflows. Now, again, that's kind of like the mentality that a lot of people have, is that they're once a money manager or a portfolio manager performs really well. And trust me, I am very, very bullish on Ark Invest. I mean, this 2-day sell-off is not indicative of what the performance is going to look like for their ETFs. I still believe they've got a lot of growth potential, strong companies with great fundamentals that are going to be disrupting a lot of things in the future, and they're going to be putting out a paper or research report on Tesla and how they've been consistently buying over the last couple of days. So again, the outflows are not indicative of what the performance is going to look like, right? In my opinion, they're still going to do well, and but that's just a decision that they chose to make. But ARKG is up a little bit over 2.5%. Tesla bouncing off the lows, up over 4%. Then we got Qualcomm. Let's take a look, up over 1%. So still kind of struggling. And again, you'll see a very similar pattern. So when these this is going down, let's turn that into black. So when there's a sell-off, you'll also see the distribution kind of take off. So they're moving in the same direction, right? So that right there is accumulation, distribution, technical indicator, along with the price action itself. Nvidia up a little bit over almost 1.5%. CVS almost 60 basis points. So let's take a look. Matt, what's up, man? How you doing? It's good to have you on board. So guys, check out Matt's channel as well. He's a great guy. Thanks for the donation. Really appreciate that, Matt. So again, yeah, this right here is going to be the 1-second chart and the 5-second chart. Right now the markets are not open, so we'll see where we go. But Bitcoin now down. Wow. So let's take a look at the 1 minute. So yeah, I mean it's a pretty big candle right here, down about 1.5%. So let's take a look at the 1 second. So the SPY up a little bit over 30 basis points. We've got the Qs up over 60 basis points. Apple up just about 1%. We've got Amazon up about 43 basis points. We've got Palantir bouncing off the lows from yesterday, up over 4%. And Tesla also up over 4%. So let's continue on this market update. So TQQs is another trade that potentially makes sense when tech is selling off. So, if you have a better feel, if you have a good understanding of the NASDAQ, and if you can kind of pinpoint where the low is going to be, TQQQ is going to really provide you with that aggressive upside 3 times, which is going to be tracking that underlying index as well. And of course, these are not recommended to be held long term because of a lot of decay that happens over time, and they're only meant to be tracking the daily return for the underlying index. So with this, when Qs were down over 8% from all-time highs yesterday, you'll notice how TQQQ was down 22%. So that right there is the factor of that leverage that gets into account. So, pre-market it's up just over 1.5, close to about 2%. So we'll see where that ends up. AMD up just about 1.23% as well. Bouncing off the lows from yesterday at $79. So again, a lot of volatility in the markets. And we've seen so much swings. I mean, Tesla was as low as 619 yesterday, and pre-market it's trading at 726. So that's a $100 swing for like a $800 billion, almost $800 billion company, right? So that's pretty significant, right? In terms of volatility. So next up, Fiverr. Fiverr is also up close to 4.5, almost 5%, and this is also a stock that we have covered on the channel quite extensively. And from our highs of 334, I mean, this was a very overextended move to begin with. So, it was down 30% from all-time highs. And this right here is going to be the complete analysis on Fiverr. And so yeah, this right here is going to be the complete analysis. It was trading outside of this uptrending channel. You guys will notice the red line is going to be the higher highs, the green line is going to be the higher lows, and we were, kind of blew the top off, traded all the way to highs of 334, made new all-time highs, sold off all the way down to this 200 simple moving average and almost down to this 226 support. So what was the low for yesterday? It was 235. So we almost came down to this blue moving average, the 200 SMA, and then had a bottom bounce off of that level. So one of the most important things for a lot of these stocks right now is going to be a breakout over moving averages, because yesterday I mentioned that their trend has shifted, right? The bears, no doubt the bears are in full control. Is it going to be a dead cat bounce today? Is this something that we're going to see a green day today and then a continued sell-off tomorrow and Friday? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But the best thing we can do is kind of understand whether this momentum is going to persist or if we're going to see a more severe sell-off in the future. But I also mentioned that the NASDAQ is down over 8%, right? It's already corrected itself. The S&P 500 had a minor pullback. It was down 4.5%, maybe 5%, because it was more diversified than the NASDAQ. So Microsoft up just about 18 basis points, so still kind of struggling because it's already hovered around overbought levels and all-time highs for quite some time. So this right here, a lot of consolidation for Microsoft in between this range. And if I were to kind of bring out the RSI, you guys will notice that it was also hovering, it was actually having a negative divergence, right? So let me actually go ahead and push this up here. So you'll notice how the relative strength index was actually going down while Microsoft was trading sideways. So this right here was a pretty significant bearish divergence, so to speak, or negative divergence. And this is the same exact pattern that we saw for what? Workhorse. So Workhorse, we will go over in more detail. It's down a little bit over 9%. And you'll notice a very similar pattern for Workhorse. Like, just think about the pattern here, right? It's pushing higher, making higher highs and higher lows. So boom, right here, we're making higher highs, higher lows, pushing higher, while on a weaker and weaker relative strength index, right? So that right there is a negative divergence, because one thing is actually going up, this thing is actually going down. So, and this was one of the stocks that we looked at from a technical standpoint from one of our members, which, by the way, you guys will get access to if you want to join our Patreon. The link should be down in the description below. I'd mentioned that with this negative divergence, I wouldn't be surprised if I do see a more persistent weakness and selling taking place in the future. So a lot of distribution for this stock after hours from yesterday because of the sell-off, since they did not win the USPS contract, and they came all the way from highs of $42 right here to now lows of about $14.95 or close to about $15 per share. So that right there is a pretty significant sell-off for Workhorse, and we'll go into more detail for this as well, right? We'll break down the article and what exactly went wrong for USPS. I know that Oshkosh won the contract for USPS. All right, so let's take a look. What else do we have? I know Enphase was trading as low as 150 yesterday. I put out a research report in our Money Investing Patreon, trading as low as 150. Like, this is a company that has strong growing fundamentals, profitable, and they're going to do a little bit over $1 billion in revenues. They're disrupting one of the most forward-looking, green renewable energy, solar industries that is going to get a lot of push from the new administration from around the world. And they're actually an international company as well, right? They do operate in other countries, and it was trading as low as 148. Yesterday was crazy. I mean, it was just, there was something for everybody yesterday. Like, if you had buying power and you did not buy anything yesterday, in my strong opinion, there were a lot of deals that you could have taken advantage of. So, but I'm sure you guys bought it because there was a lot of things that were like pretty in the red, and there was a pretty overreaction to a lot of things out there. So Visa up a little bit over 4 basis points, pushing as high as $212. Facebook is slightly flat, down just about 13 basis points. Netflix, let's take a look. It's hovering right at 542 as of the time of this video, and then of course down about 76 basis points. Twitter is also in the green, up over 1%, and Twitter is just it's been the stock of 2021 so far, in my opinion. Like, if you were to think about from January 2021, it's trading as low as $45 per share. It's also part of our daily market update, and it's up over 65%. I mean, year to date, this stock is just absolutely killing it, up over 35%, because I guess you just take into account this sell-off. So from here, you go up, it's about 37%. But since January 19th, if you were to kind of find that bottom here, this right here has been an absolutely rally for Twitter. Like, this is just crazy growth, 60% in like a month. But I think Twitter deserves it. They've been growing their strong users. They're now going to try to monetize Twitter as well, and they're hitting their like 7-year high. Like, this is a high from 2013. So if you go over to the monthly chart, like, this is this is like been a long road for Twitter coming into like from December 2013. They're literally exactly at that level, right? So making new all-time highs and a breakout over this level is going to be critical for Twitter moving forward. So that right there is going to be the resistance at $74, $75, and that's what Twitter needs to break out of, right? It's just retesting that 7 or almost 8 year high. All right, so Tesla up, Apple up a little bit over 60 basis points. We've got Tesla up close to 4%, Palantir up over 2.5%, so selling off a little bit down, and then Amazon up about 17 basis points. Trading exactly at 3,200. So this right here is going to be the spies. Wow, every time I look at Bitcoin, it just goes off the screen. Where is it? Oh, nope. Oh, there it is. So this again is going to be the 1 second charts, and as soon as the market's open, I'm going to actually be looking at the 1 second, the 5 second charts, because I think it's really interesting for us to look at 1 second, look at the volume, the price action. You know, usually we look at the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and imagine 1 second is going to be inside the 1 minute candle. It's going to be 60 candles, so that's a lot of data to analyze. But let's see where we are with the live stream. All right, so 571 people. Make sure that you drop that like button. That really helps out with the channel. So let's see if we can get up to at least 300 likes. And make sure that you share the stream as well with other people so they can join us on this potential market bounce and potentially a green day as well. So the Qs selling off as well. You know, earlier we were trading as high as 323. We're now down to 322. And so is the S&P 500 down about 27, or it's up only 27 basis points pre-market. And the Qs are up about 35 basis points. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the markets react today to everything, because I know that Jerome Powell yesterday, you know, came out and gave us his opinions on everything, you know, on the inflation, on the labor market. They're going to support the economy fully to the best of their, you know, ability, use all the tools to make sure that because it's very important. Like the U.S. economy has gotten to a point, and the markets in general, the average indices, the S&P, the NASDAQ, since they're so heavily weighted on NASDAQ, since they're so heavily weighted on tech, if tech pulls off and draws down, you know, has a severe pullback or a correction, it really hurts the market. It really hurts the overall indices, right? Because of the influence it's had, because of the market cap weightings for the S&P. So, you know, as long as tech and healthcare do well, it's going to keep the markets afloat. But if they sell off, regardless of how other sectors are doing, right, value, energy, financials, industrials, if tech severely pulls back, that's going to really take it's going to put a damper on the markets as well. So we're going to do a lot of different stocks. Michael, AMD, yeah, I love AMD. AMD is a great company, great fundamentals. Excellent management. Lisa Su's completely turned the company around. So I am pretty long on that company. I have a high conviction and a high confidence on AMD as well for the future. All right, let's take a look. Do you think the bulls will push forward today? It's kind of hard to say. You know, we're gonna have to wait it out and see what happens. There can be two possibilities, whether it's a dead cat bounce or whether we actually break out of those resistance levels. So if I go over to our main chart, and let's go over to Apple first. You know, Apple has a resistance at 127. So you'll notice that we are struggling at that level, right? Pre-market high is gonna be 127.48. This right here is gonna be 127.49. So we are struggling at that resistance, right? Yesterday we came all the way down to $118. Now, are we going to retest that low? In my opinion, I don't think we will. That was a great buying opportunity, in my strong opinion, for Apple, because it's already down so much. I mean, you think, just look at this. It's down over 18, almost 19%. They're going to potentially also be announcing an EV partnership with either Hyundai, Volkswagen, and they're going to have their production deliveries in 2024. And you know, another analyst, Daniel Ives, he basically came out and said Apple will potentially hit 3 trillion market cap by 2021, right? By end of this year, 3 trillion market. So there's a lot of growth for this company. It's got a strong fundamental value proposition But the only question is, in a short-term trend perspective, we're still in this lower high and lower low pattern, right? That's going to be the lower highs and the lower lows. So there's a lot of weakness, so to speak. So for us to regain control, for the bulls to regain control, we need to see a breakout over these moving averages. And $127 breakout is very, very important. Now, I mentioned in our daily market update yesterday that it's very important for us to stabilize the prices, right? Basically absorb the blow. So yesterday it's like think about like a boxing match, right? If somebody's like throwing punches at you, you just gotta have to absorb all the blow before you start punching again, right? So that's what's happening between the bears and the bulls, is like this is all very, very aggressive selling, and we need that to get exhausted before we consolidate sideways and then make a recovery back. And that's the same thing exactly happened, back in March, is when there was so much selling, right? And if you were to put that into context again, into a boxing match, people selling during the fear or the panic are the people stepping out of the cage and not absorbing all the blow, right? That's kind of like an analogy that I could come up with right now, but that's how I personally look at things, is like the selling is not going to be persistent for a very long time, right? It's going to get exhausted at some point, and we're going to have to consolidate sideways. So in my strong opinion, we're going to see some consolidation, right? We're not going to see like a sudden like recovery for the bulls to regain control and for us to rally again. Neither are we going to see a severe pullback like we did for the last 2 days. And that's exactly what I mentioned in our Discord as well. I said that I could more certainly see some consolidation, some stalling, while other sectors do well with vaccinations and energy financials pick up again, and tech kind of stalls sideways. So Qualcomm, I haven't really looked into Qualcomm personally. I'm not sure about the fundamentals. I know that they were trading at a much higher valuation, like relative to their peers. They were trading at like 2026, 27, earnings. So I'm personally haven't looked into the company, so I can't really speak to whether I'm bullish or bearish on Qualcomm, but I can tell you from a technical standpoint where the next support and resistance levels are going to be. So please make sure that you do your research on the company as well. But right now, since we broke down below 141, and since that is aligned with the 21 EMA, so that's going to be the white line. Again, a lot of rejection at that level, so we got rejected here. We're getting rejected here as well, so that's going to be the level to watch today and see if we can actually break out of that level. If not, then $132 for sure is going to be the next support. And similar to tech and other stocks that got pretty hit hard yesterday, I could see some consolidation sideways for Qualcomm here. That could lead to some accumulation. Again, considering the fundamentals look strong for the long term for this company, and it does have a potential to break out to the upside once again. But those are going to be some levels to watch for Qualcomm. Is NIO a buy right now? Low. I'm holding NIO in my main account, so I'm going to continue to buy. In fact, I bought yesterday as well. So for NIO, you'll notice it was down all the way as low as $41. It was a pretty significant sell-off yesterday. They have earnings coming up on March 1st. We have broken them down in one of our previous videos, so you're more than welcome to watch that as well. But Suji, I'm not a boxer. No, I used to play soccer. Yes, I've played soccer in college, but I haven't boxed. But yeah, for NIO, I'm expecting revenues just shy of $1 billion, EPS to be roughly at negative 10 cents per share. I know the estimates are just about 980 million in revenues in Q4. For the full fiscal year, I'm expecting about $2.3 billion in revenues. We already know the delivery numbers. I'm going to be very interested to watch the vehicle margin, the gross margins for NIO as well. Those are going to be some really important numbers to watch. And then deliveries, we know, I think it was 47,000 for the full year. Let me take a look really quickly. But long term, I'm really interested to find out, because China's market is 3 times, if not 4 times bigger than the US market, right? So the company that's going to eventually win out is going to be very, very dominant position to penetrate one of the biggest markets for EVs, right? So NIO is positioned well to do that. And the market cap is only sitting at 65 billion after yesterday's sell-off. So if there's any chance for NIO to capitalize on that positioning that they have in China and of course battery as a service with a lot of government benefits that they receive, then it can easily be worth a couple $100 billion market cap if they continue to scale their deliveries and their production. Right now, I'm also expecting, for fiscal year 2021, for them to tap into close to about 90 to about 100,000 in deliveries, and total revenues to come in just shy of 5 billion. So that's kind of like my estimate, and these right here are going to be the actuals for the company. So they actually guided us for 921 million, but they also, this guidance right here was based off of so this right here was based off of this estimate for vehicle deliveries, right? 16,500 to 17,000 was the NIO's delivery that they were estimated, but they actually ended up giving us 17,353 vehicles for Q4 2020, right? So that's why my expectations much higher than their own guidance, is because the vehicle deliveries came in higher than their own guidance. So year over year growth, there's going to be, let's see, fiscal year 2020, 2.4 million total revenues, and then off of that 2.2 is going to be vehicle sales. So long term, very, very strong potential for NIO. Yesterday's sell-off was, again, a little bit of an overreaction in my opinion. Pre-market, it's up a little bit over 2.5%. So it's going to be interesting for us to see how NIO trades rest of the day today. So let me take a look at my chart here. And the resistance it needs to break out of is going to be $50. So that's the level that we talked about yesterday. Let's take a look. 4 hour. So right now we are somewhat pushing higher over $50. So again, this level, if we do gap up and push higher, needs to start acting as a support, right? $50 or resistance levels getting broken, back testing as a new support. So that level needs to now start acting as a support. And if NIO can close above $50, that's going to be a huge accomplishment for NIO ahead of earnings after this significant sell-off from yesterday. So all we're looking for today is not a rally. At least that's not what I'm looking for. I'm personally not looking for a huge rally out of this tech sell-off from yesterday. I'm looking for these support levels to get validated and for some consolidation, so we can really stabilize the markets and not have so much volatility and these crazy swings for Tesla, like you saw over $100 a share in the last 18 hours, right? So that's really, really important for the markets right now, is to find a base and not keep selling off. Because the last 2 days, I don't know about you guys, but if you were to look at your account, it was just completely red. It was really bad. All right, let's see how many people we have watching. So 700. Guys, please make sure that you drop a like. It really helps out with the channel. Let's see if we can get up to at least 400 likes. Yesterday, you guys did an amazing job getting us to 1,500 likes. So again, thank you so much for you guys' support, and of course share this live stream as well with other people so that they can join us for pre-market. We have less than an hour until the market opens, and let's take a look at where SPY and QQQ are. So the NASDAQ pulling down, up only 18 basis points. The S&P pulling back as well, up only 21 basis points. And this right here is going to be Bitcoin, which is also pulling back. And we're up only 68 basis points on the day. And we actually broke down below the middle VWAP, right? So that's going to be a level at close to 49,500. So you'll notice, support validated here, and this was during 1 a.m. and this was around 2 a.m. Double bottom bounce for Bitcoin, but we got rejected at this triple top right here. So 51,325, that's going to be the level to watch. And right now we did break down. So for Bitcoin also, it's going to be important for us to trade here, right, in between this range, for us to see some type of consolidation for Bitcoin to kind of regain control. So that's going to be the level to watch for Bitcoin moving forward. Right now we're trading just at $49,400 per share, per coin. So Apple up 33 basis points, Amazon up just about 2 basis points, pretty much flat at this point. Tesla pulling back as well, up over 3.5%, and then Palantir up over 3% as well. All right, so let's take a look at some other things. So yeah, guys, I got the 1 second and the 5 second chart. I actually cannot wait for the markets to open because this is going to be really exciting. And this is exactly, it's going to be something like this. that we saw for Bitcoin, it's going to be really, really rapid like changes, right? And we'll be able to see the volume. And that's what I'm really excited about, because the volume is so important, especially if you were able to find out the 1 second or the 5 second volume, because that's like so interesting data point. Like if you have 5 million shares of Tesla being traded in 5 seconds, you know, that just really goes to show there's some institutions basically picking up some shares or selling some shares. So very excited about that as well. And I got that for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy that. All right, let's take a look at some other stocks here. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live stream if there's any other stocks you guys would like me to look into. Let's look at Riot Blockchain. So Riot Blockchain, let's see where it's trading. It's up a little bit over 12%. And this right here is, again, a pretty significant sell-off because of Bitcoin. So it was the last couple of days, it's been, it's been selling off. So is Riot. So trading is at $79, $80. It was down close to 40%. And I think Mara was another one that was down about the same, if not more, I believe. So trading is at $49, $50. It was down a little bit over 47, almost 47, almost 50%. So that's a pretty significant sell-off. But for Mara, you guys will notice that we basically came down to retest this support or this previous resistance, kind of pushed up, broke out, and then back tested this new support. So that's going to be the level to watch for Mara today. Is going to be sitting roughly at 28.50. Now we are trading much higher than this. So the next resistance it needs to break out of is going to be sitting roughly at this level. Oh, that's not the right tool. Roughly at this level right here, close to 37.50. And then Riot, actually, let me just go over to this chart. It's much easier. Because I think I do have my analyses on Riot on this one. Yep. So, all right. So this right here is going to be Riot, up a little bit over 12%. So we were making some type of a lower highs and a horizontal pattern. We broke down yesterday, consolidated sideways at this $46, $47 level. And then right now we are struggling at that 21 EMA, and then this right here should be the next resistance. So you guys can see that very clearly. Again, old support now acting as a new resistance here. So it needs to break out of $57. So I'll put a price tag right there. That right there is going to be the resistance to watch. Pre-market, we kind of tested as high as 57.70. And this right here, another 57.70. Wow. Okay, so let's go over to the 30-minute time frame, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So for Riot Blockchain, you guys will notice that the high for these two candles, 57.68, and this right here, 57.75. So there's a lot of consolidation right at this level, right? Double top. This is yesterday, and then today we gapped up. The high was 57.40, and we are like struggling to break out of that level. So that right there would be the resistance to watch for Riot Blockchain moving forward. And then so the support is going to be sitting roughly at 46.50ish or $47 per share. Again, very important for the pattern to consolidate sideways, right? We don't necessarily need it to break out and rally over $100 a share, because that's only going to lead to further downside risk, right? All we really need right now is some consolidation and stabilization of the prices. $46 is going to be the next support. All right, let's take a look at CRISPR Therapeutics. I think I have looked at that one also. So CRISPR also came down to one of our supports at 125 yesterday. So that right there turned into a resistance, since we are trading below that level, 144, 145. And you'll notice a lot of consolidation, right? So much consolidation above that level. We were kind of hovering over 144, 145 before breaking it down and selling off all the way down to 125. So that right there is going to be the next support to watch for CRISPR Therapeutics. So getting a lot of rejection from these moving averages. So if I were to kind of point that out here, you'll notice got rejected by the 50 EMA, got rejected by the 21 EMA, got rejected by the 21 EMA, getting rejected at the 21 EMA. So very important for these prices to get shifted and for us to break out over 144, 145, and then come back down to back test that old resistance as a new support once again, validate 145, and then eventually make a recovery, maybe consolidate between 164, 165, 144, and then eventually make the next step higher, back test as a new support and resistance. That's how patterns make some type of a recovery. It's not necessarily right, CRISPR going all the way up to 190 or 185. It can break out, back test old resistance as a new support, consolidate sideways, then make the next leg up higher as well. So support level to watch 125 for CRISPR, I would say, and then a resistance it needs to break out of is going to be these two moving averages, or roughly 144, 145 levels. All right, so let's take a look where the markets are at. Bitcoin, is it crossing over? Okay, so we did have some type of a breakout, so that's good. We're still kind of trying to fill in this channel, so let's go over to the 5-minute chart. You guys will notice that it's trying to push higher once again. So this right here is the range. We want Bitcoin to be trading somewhat between 51,325 and 49,500. But you guys will notice that the market's now red. That's pretty big, right? We started off with the NASDAQ up a little bit over 70 basis points. The S&P almost also in the red. Let's take a look at what Big Tech is doing, because if the markets are red, Big Tech is probably also red. Tesla up only 3%, Apple almost flat, Amazon down about 30 basis points. Let's take a look at Microsoft here. Down about 30 basis points. Let's take a look at Palantir. Up just 2.5%, almost 3%. So Tesla, Palantir still in the green, but we've got Big Tech, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Up just about 32 basis points. So, all right, we're gonna put 5-minute charts on all for now until the market opens. We've got about, let's say 40 minutes until the market opens. We're gonna put 5-minute charts and take a look at some extended hours trading and how they're doing. So, all right, let's take a look here. So this is going to be Tesla, top right, having some type of a pullback. This right here is coming in from 8:05 a.m., 731 all the way to $719, so a drop of just about 1.5% for Tesla. And this right here is going to be another extended hours. For Apple, we are also selling off. And this right here is going to be for Amazon. Amazon doesn't really have much volume to begin with because it's like $3,000 a share. So let me switch that over with Palantir then. And this right here is going to be Microsoft. And we'll keep the SPYs. Ooh, wow, okay. Guys, did something come out? Is there any news piece that came out? Let's look at what the Bloomberg has to say for this. Let's take a look. We've got 704 people watching. Again, make sure that you drop that like button. Really helps out with the channel. Because it's interesting that the futures turned red from being up over 70-80 basis points, and we are seeing a pretty significant pullback right now. So we're down about 0.5%. The SPY is also selling off.
Things he points out is that there hasn't been a food conference or a nutrition conference in the White House for 50 years, and he thinks it would be a good idea. He thinks that the Department of Agriculture shouldn't be the only people worrying about food.
We're going down. we're pulling back.
People who are not wealthy and they get enough food to eat, that's not the same as eating healthy food, which can enable them to live longer. And at the moment, upper income people are focused more on healthy food than people who are at the bottom of the economic.
All right, we'll swing back to Bloomberg in a little bit, but wow, okay. Let's take a look at let's take a look at where NEO's trading. So again, we are breaking down below $50, right? So that is still a resistance for us. $50 is still going to be the resistance right now for NEO. That means Tesla might also be pulling back quite severely, up only 2.5%. So Tesla's already, I feel like Tesla's already done the fair share of being down. From $900, think about being down all the way to about 619. So it was down 31%. So that was a pretty significant pullback. Like that's 1/3. That's 1/3 of a company. For NIO, I feel like NIO also did a fair share of the selling from highs of $67 all the way to lows of 41. That was a drop of 37, almost 40% drop. So it's going to be interesting because if the markets, the overall broader markets sell off, we got to really see where these stocks end up. So Alan, all right, thank you for the great suggestion. We had the 10-year yield up yesterday. Let me bring that up really quickly as well. So, ooh, it's up 5%. Wow. Trading as 1.412. It actually did have a breakout. Was it like very recently? Yeah, looks like it was. Started pushing higher at around 7:20 a.m. And that's probably, oh, okay, so you guys will notice 10-year yields now pulling back, SPY QQQ is now pushing up a little bit. So it's so interesting to look at how the market just price everything in so quickly. So let's bring out the 10-year yields here. So this is going to be the, let's do the 1 minute chart. Let's do the 5 minute chart here for the yields. So we got the yields here, we've got the S&P over here, and we've got the Qs over here, the NASDAQ. And let's see if I want to also include the VIX. Let's go crazy over here. Let's just look at 10 different charts. So, I don't want that one. I'm gonna put, yeah, no, let's just go with this. Yeah, stock, yeah, the yields are just over 1.4, so I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing such a drastic move for the downside. For a lot of these stocks right now, pre-market. Palantir now only up 1.7%, Tesla up about 2.5%, Microsoft down 0.5% now at this point. All right, let's take a look.
Spreading, widening out, at least in one case, the most since 2014. I do wonder, Tom, how much is this people expecting a better economy, and how much is this people seeing that the Fed maybe will not step in and will allow this yield curve to continue to steepen without, taking any serious action?
I'm going to go on it is a reset on vaccination. We've had a number of guests and analysts make it real clear there's a direct correlation here between the good news J out an hour ago. That's furthered what we already saw this morning. And again, Lisa, very few people handle price decline. 10-year yield, 10-year price, and I'm down maybe 3.
We'll circle back to that. Let's see where the dollar is. Okay, so yeah, you'll notice how the yields just are kind of hovering around that 1.41 level, and we're seeing some type of a push higher, some type of a recovery for the S&P and the Qs, but we're not able to do that since the yields are pushing higher once again. Let's take a look at where the dollar is. So that's going to be DXY. Up just about 18 basis points as of right now, so trading as low as like 90.3. So oof, Palantir really pulling back, up just about 1.2% now at this point. What are you guys watching today? Let me know in the live stream what your guys' watch list look like. If there's anything that you guys are trading, if there's anything that you're planning to buy. Or what your watch list is gonna be today. So let me know in the live stream, and I'll see if I can go over like the technicals for those. But so we got gold, we got CCIV. Actually, let's go over CCIV. That's a great up over 3.5%, but it's also pulling back a little bit. HMI, Quincy. Let's take a look at HMI. SBE, yep, Switchback Energy Corp is going to be a good one to look at. They've got the merger on Thursday. More AMD on the dip. Completely agree with you there, Ken. MSTR. Isn't MSTR down a lot? And I'm really surprised, I think, or no, it should be up pre-market. Yep, it's up a little bit over 5.61%. So, Spotify, Clover Health. All right, we'll try to cover all those, but HMY, I'm really not sure what this company is or does. Development of manufacturing and sale of smart wearable technology. It operates through Xiaomi wearable products. All right. So I'll do a little bit more fundamental analysis on this company. Looks like they are profitable, but they did sell off quite a bit as well. Nico, I'm really surprised you brought up Razer. It's funny because one of our members mentioned Razer to me, and I've been using their product in hindsight for the last 2 years, and I really never looked into their stock. Turns out it's a penny stock, really small market cap, but they have a lot of potential. But because Razer, being Razer, is like, it's known in the gaming industry, and they're like other, laptops and screens and monitors and mouse and whatnot. It's like known in the gaming industry. But it was a pretty tough decision to actually understand whether to invest or not, because I've learned more about the management and the CEO. It's not quite there yet from like an investment standpoint, even though it's trading at like 1 or maybe 2 times sales. It's pretty crazy that Razer is a company that I've been using a product for so long. But it's just, wow, this is again a pretty significant sell-off, you guys. So SPY QQQ's down a lot, and then we got US 10-year also going up as well. All right, so let's take a look at HMY. So massive inverted hammer candle, right? Similar to what we've talked about for a lot of the other stocks. And right now we are gapping up about 1%. So the support to watch for this stock would be like roughly around here at close to $16. Because that's the bottom bounce, and I wouldn't go as low as the wick, right? This right here is the body of the candles, which is pretty important, because that's where the candle closed, and that's where the next one opened, and we pushed up. So that right there would be the next support, and the resistance to watch is going to be roughly over here at close to $18, because that's where the previous support was. We broke down, and right now we are back testing that as a new resistance once again. So let's take a look at Workhorse. So Workhorse, we actually broke down. If you want to go back to the live stream, watch that segment and then come back over to the live. You can do that as well. So Workhorse, we broke down earlier. So let's take a look at Goldman Sachs Rocket. Up about 16 basis points, strong uptrending pattern. And this has been a great recovery for Goldman Sachs, right? I know that their trading profits for 2020 were astronomical, and fundamentally they're looking forward to do a lot of deals from M&As and other business segments as well. Up over 142%. Seems very overextended, like the R side, the MACD, a little bit on the overbought side. So keep that in mind, because right now, again, similar to what we have seen in the past, higher highs, but we are making some lower highs for the relative strength index as well, right? So a little bit of a divergence there, bearish divergence there. So that's something to consider moving forward. But in terms of its support, Goldman Sachs is probably, there's a very less likelihood it's going to retest down that low, but $269, $270 is going to be the support to watch, and even as low as 307. 307, because that was a previous resistance. We broke out, and right now we're kind of back testing that old resistance as a new support. We're kind of hovering over that level. So 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, perfectly aligned at the $307, $308 per share. So that right there is going to be the support to watch. All right, so there we go. Let's listen to this.
for this time. That's what it will take for us to begin.
So
to
this was
moderate the
yesterday.
level of purchases. Substantial further progress. Until substantial further progress has been made, the job is not done.
Well, this bond market can smell that substantial further progress. Let's bring in the team. Bloomberg's team, Michael McKee and Sarah Ponzek. Mike, a green light to push yields higher.
Maybe. That wasn't what he was signaling at this point. He kind of would like everybody to just sit tight at the moment. Sometimes the chairman is talking to members of Congress, and sometimes, well, pretty much all the time, he's talking to markets. And his message, steady as she goes, no change, we are where we are, pick your cliche. Unfortunately, the question is the market listening? Powell's message was that the economy is going to get better in the second half, and we are going to see price pressures go up. But, and this is the quote that he would like the markets to take away, the economy is a long way from our employment and inflation goals and is likely to take some time for substantial further progress to be achieved. In other words, don't move rates because we're not moving rates. You look at the market.
So let's take a look at where the yields are. Now they're pulling back, but the NASDAQ or the Qs are now down almost 1%. And we have the Qs on both sides. I didn't realize that. And the S&P is down about 30 basis points as well. So the yields are pulling back a little bit. But let's take a look at where big tech is. Wow, so just red candles after red candles. This is great. Tesla up only 1.5%, like 1.3%. Microsoft now down over 1%. Amazon down about 11 basis points. Or no, that's Palantir. Palantir down up just about 11 basis points. Amazon is probably down over 1% at this point. I feel like, yep, over 1%. Nvidia down about 79 basis points. Apple down over 1%. So again, there's selling coming. There's pressure coming in from the bears once again, and we gotta absorb it, right? We gotta let them come hard, and we just gotta absorb the pressure, right? That's all it is. Especially for like growth in tech, because it's important for the broader markets. It's important for the broader markets, for the S&P, for the NASDAQ. We're seeing some recovery here for the Qs. There's a lot of stocks out there, like especially in the recovery side. I know that Disney did really well once the theme park opened back up with the vaccinations. That's one to consider. Southwest and airline play, in my strong opinion, out of all the four airlines, Southwest is one that has the strongest balance sheet. That's one to look at for potential reopening of the economy, vaccination, so on and so forth. We've got Walgreens is going to be a good one. Walmart. We've got Bank of America. Out of all banks, Bank of America and potentially even JP Morgan are going to be two banks that I personally really like. If you want to get into the financials. For industrials, maybe look into 3M. That's going to be ticker symbol MMM. Now these are stocks that I have like sort of like the recovery plays that are going to do well with the vaccination, with the reopening of the economy, with even rising yields. They're going to potentially do well, especially banks and financials. We've discussed this in our previous videos as well in the market updates, and how banks kind of have the 10-year yield. They kind of look at that to price in all their debt products like mortgages and so on and so forth, and as the yields go up, the interest rates go up, they're able to make more through that net interest margin. That's the big thing. The cost of borrowing is always lower for them than the cost of issuing and underwriting those loans, so that's going to benefit banks and financials in the future. Caterpillar is another one that's kind of fits into this equipment, industrial materials sort of industry and sector. So Caterpillar coupled with 3M and waste management is going to be more utilities. So that's another strong company. Ulta, I also have Ulta here, and then maybe even Lululemon. I know that Lululemon kind of shifted their business model from more like physical store sales to more like e-commerce. But as the economy opens back up, I do see like more traffic in the malls, more traffic in the stores, and people are going to want to spend more money on retail as well, in my strong opinion. So those are going to be some plays for recoveries if you are looking for some. And then in terms of dividends, if you are looking for more like value plays, dividends, NextEra Energy is a great one. Renewable energy, again, they're going to be pushing towards the next decade. Lockheed Martin, another government contractor. Coca-Cola, AT&T are very, very regular dividend plays as well. And then this is going to be Union Pacific is going to be a strong one as well to look into for you guys. All right, so let's take a look at where we are with the stream. We've got, let's see.
That $900 billion in stimulus at year end is still working its way through the system, and we may have another $1.9 trillion coming. And the Fed has told us they're a long way away from their employment and inflation goals, so they're leaving monetary policy where it is. It would be interesting to think about where the 10-year would be if they weren't doing $120 billion in purchases per month.
But what do you think the limits of the sell-off are then? You've been looking for a range of 1.6 to 1.9 on a 10-year. We're at 140 right now. I assume you think there's oxygen left in this?
No, I think we've gone far enough for now. I wasn't looking for it to all come at once. I think that would be highly disruptive to financial conditions. And I think the Fed is on this journey to a path that's higher and looks a bit normal, but they don't want to do it all at once. I think at some point, foreign flows, cash out of money market funds, and the Fed's own buying will stabilize yields somewhere between, call it 1.25% and 1.375%. I think we're coming towards the end of the sell-off.
The point you raise is really important, Bob. The competition for capital, the competition for flows, the yields start to bite. At these levels, at 140, you think that gets it done?
For now, I mean, there's a lot of disconnects in the market right now. We're looking at a monthly backup in yields of 30 or so basis points. The last time we saw that magnitude of move was November 2016, so right after Trump was elected. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The second thing is your own Bloomberg economics forecast, 6 to 7% GDP when you look at the full year, assuming that a large percentage of the stimulus gets through. And the third thing to look at is this 1 3/8 yield we're at. It looks high today, but that was actually the low reached in July 2012 and July 2016 after the financial crisis. So we're a long way from anything that looks rational, and the Fed is doing a pretty good job of ensuring the cost of recovery is pretty low for a while.
Bob, many people...
All right, so where we are with the stream, we got 863 people watching. Let's see where we are with the likes. Guys, make sure that you drop a like. It really helps out with the channel, and recommends the stream to other people. Share this with other people as well if they want to join us during market update. Yield is still pushing higher. The Q is making somewhat of a recovery. We're up down just about 0.5%. The S&P down about 20 basis points. It's a little bit more diversified. And let's take a look at where the markets or the other stocks are. Tesla somewhat pushing higher once again, up just about 2.3%. Palantir up about over 1%. Microsoft pushing higher a little bit, up about 80 basis points. We've got Nvidia up just about 7 basis points, so pretty much flat. And then we've got Apple in the red once again, trading down about 75 basis points. Let's take a look at NEO. NEO is up just about 96 basis points, about 1%. And let's take a look at Square. And Square is down about 4.5%. Wow. Okay. Let me see if there's any news that came out for Square. Oh, Square was reporting. Missed it. So yeah, I forgot about that, because we broke down the earnings whisper. Actually, let me go over that really quickly again, so that we have a really good understanding of what we're watching for this week. I know Thursday is going to be pretty big, so this is going to be the earnings. Completely missed out on that. Let me take a look at where other stocks are trading as well relative to the earnings that they reported. So again, Square was reporting yesterday after the close. We're gonna break that down. It's good that we looked into that. Upwork also reported yesterday. We're gonna look into those. Hyliion, I'm not really sure where they're trading, so let's take a look really quickly. Hyliion up just about 1%, so really flat, not really doing much. And then we have Intuit, we've got Home Depot and Macy's, and then Wednesday and Thursday. So actually today, Jumia reported before, or they should already would have reported. Let's take a look at their stock. Down about 1% right now, pre-market. And then after the close, we've got Nvidia reporting, so that's going to be a pretty big one. Redfin is going to be a big one. We've got TJX. And then on Thursday, there's going to be a lot of companies on Thursday. We've got Salesforce, Rocket Companies, Moderna, Plug Power, Domino's, Etsy, Beyond Meat, Best Buy. We've got Virgin Galactic, Nikola, Li Auto. We broke down Li Autos as well, so you can watch that video. But we also have Airbnb, and then on Friday we've got DraftKings and AMC Networks as well. So pretty interesting week ahead. And then let's take a look at where what Square reported. All right, so Square reported net income of $294 million, a decline of 25% year over year. That's interesting. Excluding gains from equity investments and a one-time gain in the prior quarter, net income of $20 million increased by 11%. Okay. Square continued to focus on the impressive growth deliveries by Cash App ecosystem. Gross profits of $377 million, up 162% year over year. So I think this was excluding gains from equity investments and one-time gain in the prior year quarter. That's exactly why we're seeing such a huge variance from quarter over quarter for Square's net income, right? If you were to exclude that, then they actually went up by 11%. So that makes sense. The company has also doubled down on Bitcoin, saying it spent $170 million to acquire 3,318 Bitcoins. This resulted in a purchase price of just over $51,000 per coin. Square had previously disclosed purchase of a totaling $50 million, and taken together, the two equate to approximately 5% of the total cash and cash equivalents on the Square's balance sheet. More than 3 million customers purchased or sold Bitcoin via Square's Cash App last year. As the popularity of cryptocurrencies has spread, the number of users purchasing Bitcoin has exploded, with more than 1 million customers making transactions in January alone. So while cryptocurrencies account for more than half of Square's revenue, it makes such smaller contribution to its bottom line, something that we have read in our previous market updates as well. So while Cash App generated roughly $1.76 billion in Bitcoin revenue, resulted in just $41 million in gross profit. So that actually is a pretty really, it's, wow. Okay, so let's take a look at how much that is in terms of gross profit margin. So if they're just making, like, let's say 41 million, right, off of, like, all right, let's do this. So 41 million off of 1.76. So that's basically like like 2.3% margin. It's actually not that bad, right? Amazon has like a 2% margin on their e-commerce business as well. So I think it's just a net income miss of 25%, like a downside. Could be one of the reasons, and then of course them spending more money on cryptos could also be one of the reasons why the stock is pulling back. So let's take a look at SPY, the Qs. Q is now down about 60 basis points. We've got the S&P down about 17 basis points. The US 10-year yields up over 5%. So we got 15 minutes into the open. So we got 15 minutes into the open. Let's see if we can get up to at least 700 likes before the market opens, right? 170 likes. I know you guys can do it. It's very, very easy. All right, let's take a look at Plug Power. I think it's one of the stocks that we've also analyzed in the past. We'll quickly go over that. Plug Power validated that 37.81 support yesterday. So that would be the level to watch. 47.45 or 47.50 looks like it's getting validated as a support pre-market, but it needs to break out of $55, $56 per share, right? That's going to be the next resistance if we do open above 47.50, 47.45 levels. So that right there, massive support, needs to get validated for Plug Power. and this right here is going to be the next resistance. But for now, we're going to keep that in red because the markets are going to open in 15 minutes. So we need to see if plug power can stay above 47.50 or if we're going to break down. And this right here is going to be the support level to watch. So NEO up just over 1.2%, still kind of hovering around that $50 level. Very, very important. And trust me, this right here today, I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a sell-off, but it's not going to be as severe as the last 2 days. It's going to be another pullback or a minor correction day. Palantir looks like it's down in red now, down about 50 basis points. So definitely pretty significant sell-off over the last hour, I should say. So from 8 a.m. Eastern, from $28, it's down a little bit over 5%. For Palantir. I hope Tesla is not in the red. So let's take a look. Tesla's still up a little bit over 2%, but still pretty significant sell-off that started at 8 a.m. around that time for a lot of stocks, and it's down over 3% from that time. This right here is Nvidia. Let's go over to Microsoft. From 8 a.m. we are down roughly 1.5%, almost 2%, and Apple is also down quite a bit from our highs of 8 a.m. So we're down a little bit over 2%. So we'll see. We'll see if these losses extend as soon as the markets open in about 13 minutes, or if we see any type of recovery like we saw yesterday. Benedict, I am going to continue to accumulate more Tesla on red days. So if it does pull back down to the support, I picked up some shares yesterday. I do plan on buying some more. Again, having some cash available on these red days really allows you to go shopping when there's opportunities in the market, because there's not going to be one single day when we're going to see absolute red days, and then the next day we're going to see greens again. There are going to be a lot of red days in the future, in my strong opinion, like not in the near term future, but I'm just saying like there's going to be red days and green days in the future. So having cash available in your account is always really, really important. So all right, so NEO 1.24% in the greens. Let's take a look at some other stocks. Nicholas is Square by 244. I would wait. Square is a little bit, that's why once I missed the train on Square a little while back, and I think this was back in like when it was trading at 230, 240 levels. I had no trades on Square like around this level. So this entire time when Square was trading here, I neither bought or sold Square stock, right? Because this was no point for me chasing as high as 270, 280 levels. So I would allow it to pull back maybe a little bit. Now it's already down quite a bit from highs of $280. It's down. It was down a little bit over 16%. So yesterday's low was pretty good, and it's down a little bit over 12%. So wait and see if 244 gets validated today. Right now it's hovering right at that level, so that green rectangle you see. Wait for that level to see if if we consolidate at that level, we find support or find a base at that support. Because the other side of the MACD again very, very oversold. So allow the pattern to consolidate a little bit and then push higher once again. All right, let's take a look at CRM, Salesforce really quickly for Jim. So Salesforce had a perfect balance, and this is more of a broader trend. It's been trading inside this downtrending channel. And also, guys, help each other out in the live stream as well, right? So I'm going to be doing the technical analysis, but share your guys' opinion on other stocks as well. If there's people asking about Salesforce, if there's anything that you know about the company, about the fundamentals, about different management and different analysis, the more information we have, the less risk we're gonna face, and the more confident we're gonna be with these stocks and making those decisions when it comes down to like trading or investing. So help each other out. I know there's a lot of smart people, a lot of intelligent people in the live stream, so you guys know a lot of things. You guys make some great suggestions. The comment section is always flooded with great opinions and great decisions, so I really do appreciate that. And again, engage with each other, talk with each other about different stocks and ETFs and trading ideas as well. So for CRM, this right here was a lower low. I know that the earnings, I think they acquired Slack, which investors did not like, was one of the reasons why they were down so much. Then we started consolidating at 219, traded as low as $212 per share, basically pushed up close to 17%, and right now we are kind of hovering around that support. So the level to watch for Square, I'll actually go ahead and so the level to watch for Square is going to be sitting roughly at Square, CRM, Salesforce, keep saying Square, is going to be $229, $230. So that right there is going to be a support. perfect validated support here for Salesforce, and we are or we potentially retested that level yesterday. So that right there is going to be the support to watch for Salesforce, and the resistance it needs to break out of is going to be sitting roughly at 240. So 240 kind of aligned with that 21 EMA and the 50 EMA, perfectly sitting at that level. I personally do not think that Salesforce is going to break out of that resistance today. We're going to consolidate for a little bit in between this range. So I could see Salesforce coming down, push up, consolidate sideways for a little bit, and then eventually make a move higher, break out of over 240, 245 levels. So that right there is going to be the level to watch. But if for any reason we do see a broader market weakness persist, then 219, 220 would be the next level to watch. So these right here are going to be two support levels all the way as high as $240 per share for Salesforce. All right, let's take a look at the market. So where are the yields? Yields are up over 6% now, up to 1.425. We've got the S&P down about 33 basis points. We've got the NASDAQ or the Qs, again, down about 90 basis points, almost 1%. It's looking like a it's looking like a start to a pretty red day. So if you go over to the weeklies for the yields, they have been pushing higher quite consistently, right? So from lows of about 0.5% in August, we are up quite a bit. We're up a lot. All right, guys, so we got 8 minutes, almost 7 minutes till the market's open. Very, very excited about that. We're gonna keep the S&P, the NASDAQ here. Actually, let me see if I can actually build out a map that has a lot of different things on there. So maybe we have to work off of this. Is this too much? Is this a lot of charts? But I want to put like the yields, the S&P, the Qs, and I also want to put some big tech down below. So we have a really good mix of everything that we're watching. So I'll put NEO over here. I'll put Apple down right in the middle. And then we'll put Tesla over here. Alright, so we're gonna be watching the 5-minute charts for all these. So Tesla, Apple right here. NEO is gonna be over here. We've got the yields. We've got the S&P and the QQQs. All right, we got 861 people watching. Let's see if we have anything on Bloomberg. Alright, I hope you guys are excited. We've got like less than 5 minutes for the markets to close. So, very, very excited about that. Apple down again. William, that's because of the yields. So, the yields have been going up. If you were to look at the 5-minute chart, starting since 7 a.m., they've just been on this huge rally, right? From lows of 1.362, we've gone up a little bit over 4.5%, almost 5% for the yields in a little bit over an hour and a half, or maybe 2 hours. And that's resulted in the S&P going down. That's resulted in the NASDAQ, the Qs going down, now down over 1%, where the Tesla is only up 1.5%. Apple is now down over 1.24. NEO is only up 1%. So Tesla and NEO, in my opinion, have kind of they've already done their part when it comes to selling. So we'll see. We'll see how rest of the day plays out. I'm probably going to do the live stream till 10 a.m. So maybe 30 minutes after the markets open. And again, if you guys enjoy this, please make sure that you drop a like. Let's see if we can get up to at least 700 likes before the markets open, right? So that's going to be 5 minutes. I know you guys can do this. It's only about 50 likes. So make sure that you drop a like. It really helps out with the channel and pushes this live stream over to other people as well. Excited, more like anxiety. No, it's good. I mean, the markets, when they're dropping, when they're red, these are great buying opportunities, in my opinion. So the S&P now down 42 basis points, and QQQs are also down. Andrew, the ticker symbol for the yields now really depends on what platform you're using, but if you were to use the TradingView platform, which is what I'm using, it's going to be US 10Y. So if you use US 10Y, you'll be able to look at the 10-year yields. And let's put some other stocks here. So let's put the 5-minute for Amazon. Put the 5-minute for Palantir. Let's put CCIV, actually CCIV up top. AMD also in the red, and so CCIV top right, AMD top left. We've got Nvidia bottom left. And then, what another stock should we put here? Bottom right. What other stock can we put to the bottom right? If you guys want to have like a stock to look at, let me know. When is the barbecue party? Come over. If you guys can make the trip. So Palantir, Tesla, these are all over here. So we've got Tesla down right, NIO down left. We've got Apple over here. Let AMD top left. NIO is also there. Tesla is also there. CCIV is also there. So let's put Square. Let's put Square. And we'll also put we'll keep shifting between other stocks as well. But right, a minute and a half, and let's see where the Qs are. Down about 86 basis points. SPY is also down about 30. The yields are up over 5.5. NIO up only 0.5% now, while NIO is also selling off pre-market pretty heavily. And let's just do this. Alright, so I'm going to put ARKK over here on the 5-minute chart. This right here is going to be ARKG. We're down about 40 basis points for that. This right here is going to be ARKQ. So ARKQ taking a pretty big beating, down about 1.5%. All right, guys. So about 15 seconds left for the markets to open. Let's see where we open and let's see how we trade for the first 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's see if we actually sell off or if we can actually absorb the blow. We have some recovery. We push up, consolidate a little bit. So let's see. So the Qs open down. Qs open at $318.61. This right here is going to be the S&P 500. Opened at 386.23. We're down about 30 basis points for that. Tesla up about 1.74%, so trading as high as 710. Apple. Usually when I don't personally like stocks pushing higher, like the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I would rather have them pull back and then usually have a recovery within the first 15 minutes. So we'll see what happens. NIO up about 29 basis points. SPY, QQQs again, we are still flat. The market's trying to decide which way we want to go. Let's put our main watch list here. So Nano Dimensions up over 3.5% right now. QuantumScape also in the green, up over 2.5%. Plug Power in the green. We've got Lemonade, Tesla, Fiverr, Shopify, Unity Software is doing well. I mean, not doing well, but it's still in the green. ARKG, AMD turned green, so that's interesting. SPY's pushing higher now. And the Qs are also somewhat recovering, but we'll see if that sustains or if we do see a pullback. So again, Apple is also recovering a little bit. NEO is recovering. So all we're trying to look for, guys, today is a little bit of consolidation. That's all we want. We don't need a rally. We don't need a sell-off. We just need stabilization for the prices. At least that's what I personally want. Tesla starting off with a red candle, looks like. And this is going to close in another 3 minutes because this is the 5-minute candles. SPY with a massive inverted hammer. So a lot of wick for a Q as well. So we were trading all the way as high as this level, but we essentially got sold off. So that's usually not the best. So the 1 minutes, let's go over to the 1 minute here. Tesla also doing well. Trading is at 714 now. Up 2%, so that's good. Apple still pulling back down about 1%. The yields are still pushing up over 6%. Hitting another high of day. NEO up over 1%. This is a interesting price action, you guys, because I honestly think that we are going to pull back for the broader markets. But we are pushing higher right now. Let's take a look at our other watch list. Oh God, CCIV down about 4%. What happened here? Wow. They also announced that they were going to be delaying some of their production. I think I read that this morning. Nvidia down about 67 basis points. AMD still kind of struggling, down about 1%. Tesla with a massive green candle. Look at that. So much buying pressure coming in. Trading as high as $718 right now. Still look at some ARKK pushing up. ARKG Genomics pushing up a little bit. This right here is going to be ARKQ. Let's take a look at Palantir here. Up over 1% now, so that's good. CCIV down just about 3%, so we are seeing some recovery. Square down about 5% now. The Qs are struggling, so you guys will notice such a significant difference between the patterns, right? S&P is still pushing higher. The triple Qs is going to be NASDAQ consolidating sideways. So we're seeing two different patterns for the broader markets, right? NEO up over 5%. Apple is down about 1.5% almost. So Apple is selling off while Tesla and NEO are pushing higher. So that's interesting. So SPY, what it needs to do right now is kind of validate that middle VWAP, act as a support, and then push higher. Qs, I feel like the Qs are going to sell off because there's a lot of weakness. You guys will notice that we are just struggling right here at 319, 320 levels, right? So that's a resistance that it needs to break out of. It needs to break out of this resistance right here. So Tesla high of day 724, up over 3%. NEO also pushing higher, up over 3.5%. Apple is still selling off, down about 1% on the open. And the Q is still struggling at that resistance, right? 319, 320. That's going to be the level. And we need the help of other tech. So, if AMD is selling off down about 1%, let's take a look at Microsoft. Down about 1%. Let's take a look at Amazon. Down about 1%, it's over 1%. Palantir up just about 20 basis points. So there we go. And now the broader markets are going to turn red. You got rejected here. We're getting rejected. Breakdown below the middle VWAP. Apple extending on this sell-off right now. So SPY now down over 30 basis points. Massive red candle for the Qs, getting rejected at 320. So that was the resistance there. Apple kind of hovering around 124. So we'll see if that support gets validated or not. And yields continuing to push higher, up over 6.5% almost. So NEO, again, it needs to kind of validate. So let's go over to the 1 minute chart. It needs to validate that middle VWAP. So that's going to be this yellow line you guys see on the chart right here, bottom left. Turn that into a brighter yellow. And then this right here. So it needs to validate that middle VWAP. Tesla again pulling down. Oh, there we go. What a massive drop for the Qs. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Amazon down 1.5% almost. Microsoft over 1.5%. AMD now down over 1.5% almost. Palantir also down 80 basis points. We've got the Qs and the S&P both taking a huge pullback, right? Tesla also looking like it's going to make low of day. Apple extending down about 1.5%. So yeah, I mean it's turning, but all we need to see is if we see any type of stabilization, right? If we see any type of consolidation, so Square down over 6-7% now, Baidu down over 5%. We've got the Qs down to almost 4%, CCIV down about over 1%. Apple 1.5%, Facebook 1.5%, Microsoft 1.5%, Nvidia 1.5%, Amazon 1.5%, Enphase 1.6%, AMD down about 1.5%, PayPal down over 1%, Palantir, Twitter, Netflix, Shopify, Fiverr. So yeah, pretty much. So all right, so we're seeing some recovery here for the Qs, and we need consolidation. We need consolidation. We need stabilization. That's all we need. We don't need a rally. We don't need a sell-off. We need the prices to stabilize, because one of the things that I mentioned in yesterday's video is that we need to take the growth out in order for have the opportunity to get priced in once again in the future. So that basically means if Tesla can potentially sell off, it's down 40%, that's us taking upside away from Tesla's future so that it has the opportunity to get priced in once again in the future, hence representing a lot more upside in the future. So we'll see. Q's down about 1.3%. The S&P almost 0.5%. Let's take a look at some of the recovery stocks. So what is doing well, what's not doing well. So Southwest is up 1%, Bank of America 70 basis points. But Disney is down, 3M is down, Walgreens is down, Walmart is down in the red as well. So we got AT&T, ExxonMobil slightly in the greens. All right, guys, we'll see. I mean, right now, it's okay, right? They're finding some type of a base, and we'll see if we can actually see some type of a breakout over high of day. Qs are coming up, so that's good. We need a breakout over $320 per share. So that right there is going to be very, very, very important for the Qs because so much consolidation at that level. NEO kind of hovering over that level, so that's good. We're not selling off. We're stabilizing the price. Apple potentially forming some type of an inverted hammer. So if we close in 7 seconds, I could see some more upside for Apple stock as well. There's a lot of buyers stepping in for Apple. So you'll notice that we closed with a massive inverted hammer candle. So we'll see where the price opens. Tesla still recovering a little bit. Let's go over to the 1 minute chart. So again, had a nice bounce off of the $700 per share, 704. So I could see some more upside for Apple because that right there was an inverted hammer candle. So if you can see a breakout over 124, what was that? All right, so the Q's still somewhat struggling a little bit. And NEO also pulling back. Let's take a look at this watch list. Microsoft down about 1%. Amazon a little bit over 1%. Palantir's in the red also. Down about 1%. AMD. is also down a little bit over 1%. So interesting patterns. The yields are pulling back, so the yields are only up 5% now. So we were up a little bit over 6.5%. So that should get priced in the equities market pretty quickly, but we'll see. So another inverted hammer almost. We'll see if it can break out over 124.30. That's going to be the middle VWAP for Apple. Tesla still kind of hovering below that middle VWAP here, below $712, $710 per share. Where do you guys think Tesla's gonna finish today? Let me know in the live stream. Where do you guys think where Tesla is going to finish today? Right now it's trading roughly at $705. Do you think it's gonna be trading above 700 or it's gonna trade below $700 per share? Let me know where you guys think Tesla is gonna finish. Let me know where you guys think Apple's gonna finish for the day. $715, $1,000, $650, $735. What about Apple? What do you guys think about Apple? Because Apple is holding up. Apple is holding up 124, $124 acting as a really strong support. It's just the 124.30 level that we need to break out of. That's going to be the middle VWAP. But we do have buyers stepping in. From a price action standpoint, if you were to think about it, there are buyers stepping in for Apple as well. Tesla is pulling back right now, so up just about 45 basis points. This right here, NIO, following a very similar pattern. And Apple just, again, struggling at that level. And so are the Qs. And this is good. This is good because we're stabilizing, right? We're stabilizing, we're consolidating sideways. That's the most important thing in this market, is that we don't want any existing selling. Square, oh my God, over 8%. Jesus. 235. So if you were to go over to this chart, let's break down Square really quickly. Guys, make sure that you drop a like. It really helps out with the channel. Again, I really do appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So Square definitely breaking down of those support levels. So 235 down about 8%. QuantumScape is pushing higher. That's good. So up over almost 5%. Amazon down almost 1.5%. Microsoft down 1.23%. Palantir really taking a beating right now, down almost 2.5%. And AMD also almost 1.5%. So we are seeing some selling pressure. So let's take a look at some other stocks as well. So let's take a look at what cryptos are doing. So cryptos are now slightly in the green. Bitcoin is. Bara and Riot are up substantially, 8%, 11% each. Ethereum up over 3%, and we've got Bitcoin up slightly over 15 basis points. So hey Barack. So yeah, I think Buffett sold his Apple stock, but it was very, very small. I think he sold like 20 million shares, if I'm not mistaken, and I think his holding is it's actually funny because his holding is much higher relative to his portfolio, but since Apple surged during the last quarter of 2020, they were just rebalancing that. And they also, Vanguard also did that. Those are going to be two largest shareholders of Apple. that trimmed some of their position to basically rebalance their portfolio a little bit. Alright, so we found some type of a base for the Qs at roughly 317, I want to say, 317.30. That's going to be the level to watch right now, intraday at least, because the Qs are trading in here. Apple most certainly needs to break out of 124.30 because so much consolidation right here for Apple. We're just struggling to break out of that middle VWAP, right? Looks like we could potentially see some more upside. The SPY is taking off once again. We need a close above the middle VWAP, right? And for Qs also, they are surging. Tesla is also trying to push higher, and so is NIO. So we'll see if we can actually have some type of recovery, if we can see some type of buyers stepping in, bullish sentiment for all these stocks. So that's going to be really important. The Qs still have a long way to go to become positive. The S&P not so much. It's only down about 20 basis points. AMD also pushing higher a little bit, and Palantir now down only 1%. Amazon trying to push higher as well. And we got Microsoft. So the Qs back retesting that high of day at close to 320. We'll see if we actually break out of that level. The SPY needs to break out of 387. Tesla also trying to push higher as well. Let's take a look at some of the other stocks. So we got BNGO, Bio-Nanogenomics, also up 3%. Plug Power up 3%. We've got CRISPR, Ping Identity. We've got Fiverr, CVS. But most of the stocks you guys will notice are pretty in the red, right? Because there is a pullback that we are seeing. So, alright, the Qs retesting, high of day. Are we going to break out? AMD is getting some buyers at the moment. Tesla making a move up over 2%. Apple also trying to push higher. So Qs, you guys will notice we are getting rejected right at that level. 320 is going to be the level to break out of for the Qs. The NIO also making moves up over 2% now. Amazon is still struggling a little bit. Palantir also struggling a little bit. Let's take a look at so there you go. QQQs are just struggling over there. So is S&P for the high of day. I feel like this is going to be one of those days when we trade sideways. There's a lot of consolidation. Square, Rajan, we analyzed Square earlier, so you're more than welcome to go back a little bit and look at that analysis, and then jump over to the live stream. So yeah, let me actually go ahead and add more stocks for you guys. I mean, if there's space for us to look at, you know, because this can get really crowded. Let me just put. What do you guys want? CCIV? I'll just put CCIV over here. So the yields over here, we've got the SPY over here. It needs to break out of the high of day at 387, 389. this right here are the Qs right in the middle. So again, that's red line you guys see on the chart. We need to break out of there. Tesla is going to be right here. Apple is going to be down here. We're still getting rejected at 124.30 on the day. So